Hey everybody, and welcome back to Derail Valley. We're heading off now right away. We're going to be heading to the machine factory and making a few stops along the way. I'll go over what's on this train right now, and then I'll do a little bit more of a recap of how we got here. So, first thing, or rather the last thing we'll be dropping off, the first thing attached to our locomotives are these containers of cryo-oxygen. So we have some frozen oxygen. This is FH25. You can see here cryo-ox. We have a 93 time limit on here. It's going to be going 28,000, or it's going to be giving us $28,000 and 230 tons of oxygen here going to machine factory. Behind there, we have these cargo containers. This is FH92. These contain brom tooling. Maybe it's brome tooling. Either way, we're going to be taking it to the coal power plant. Big $40,000 payout for this one, 768 tons. This is the long boy of the train today. So this is the one that's going to be weighing us down the most, and the reason we have the double header up there with the two DH4s. 40,000, pretty decent payout. So looking forward to bringing this one to coal power plant. This will also be our first time visiting the coal power plant. So we're going to be doing some searching for demonstrator locomotives when we're over there, and I'll be able to demonstrate the really cool track layout that we have over at the coal power plant. Moving on towards the back of the train here, to teleport a little bit, we have some empty cars, some empty flat cars. So this is just a logistics haul LH45. We have an 80-minute time limit for this one. 16,000 is the payout, and this is going to City West. So all of these are on the way to each other. So first we'll stop at City West, drop off these empty cars. Then we'll go through the coal power plant to drop off our tooling. And finally, we'll finish at the machine factory. We'll visit the shop and pick up a few more gadgets for our DH4. So while this is a very long train, and I haven't actually done the math for how long it is quite yet, it's not our heaviest haul yet. In the previous episode, we were really pushing the limits of what our locomotives could handle, doing, I believe it was a 1,770 ton haul, which was way over the 1,200 tons that we had rated for uphill in the rain. Thankfully, this one's only about 1,200 tons, not including the locomotives, and we do not have any rain in the forecast, so we should be able to easily haul all of this weight with us up the hill to the coal power plant. Now, we do have to get up the hill for the harbor, so I did give us a little bit of a run-up from the sea terminal over here at the harbor. I'm going to now really punch the gas, and it looks like... Is this locomotive actually even running? It was not. So that whole time was only with the rental locomotive. That's pretty funny. I was wondering why we were going so slow given the double header on here. But now that we have both on, I can really push the power here, and we're going to need all of it to get up this slope. So let's do some quick math. Let's take a look at, let's also maybe pin these to our wall here while I do this so I can have all of them visible. So I'm going to take out my phone real quick, get the calculator out. Actually, sorry, before I do that, why don't we make sure we're going to go the right way? That seems equally important. So let's take a look at our world map. We're going to turn right out of here, and we just need to make sure we get over to City West. So we're going to keep right here, keep left here. Right is correct. Right is right, you could say. Actually, no, we're going to want to turn left here and take the lower track, I believe, because we don't want to end up in a steel mill. So let me just double check this one more time. We're going to keep left. We're going to keep right, rather turn right here. And then we're going to turn right to take this southernmost track. Sorry, this is a left. Yeah, so turn left, take the southernmost track. It's a right, it's a left, it's a right, and then we're into City West. So all the mainline switches should be configured correctly. It's going to get us up to full power while I figure out the length of this train here. Keep an eye on our overheat indicator as well. So the two locomotives are 26 meters, I think, combined. Then we have 126 meters for the cryo-oxygen going to the machine factory. We have the long one, which is 288 meters of brome tooling. Those are just the cargo containers. And then we have an additional 252, which is nothing to sneeze at, on the back of empty cars. So that brings us up to about 700 meters. Uh-oh. Should have been paying better attention to that overheat indicator. About 700 meters here. So this is a long train. Not long enough to still be in the harbor up here on top of the hill, but long enough to be the longest one we've hauled yet. So not the heaviest, but definitely the longest. And that will bring with it its own challenges. Thankfully, one of the things we're going to pick up once we get to the machine factory is going to be our distance tracker that will mount right underneath the thingamajigger here, the tray here. It's pretty finicky to get it into the right spot here, so I'm probably going to have to play with that for a little while. But that will make future hauls of trains this long much more manageable. Now, I did not anticipate doing a haul this long this early on, but I guess it's not that early on. Each one of these episodes is about an hour, some of them slightly over an hour. And this is episode 10 now, so that's about 10 hours, nothing to sneeze at. Decent amount of gameplay in here. Watching our temps as we climb up this hill. Beautiful train. I really like the variety of models that we have for our cargo. We have the cryo tanks, we have the empty cars, and we have, of course, the wonderful cargo container models. Hill isn't that steep, averaging about 1 to 1.5% in incline, which is not steep enough for us to lose any speed. I did take a look, I don't know if I mentioned this already, but I took a look in the station building and there's no rain in the forecast. A little bit of fog, which we're seeing now, I think. Yeah, definitely getting fog here. Look at that. Take a screenshot of that. That's pretty nice. And I may have just seen a raindrop, actually. I wonder if it's a feature of the game that sometimes the weather forecast gets it wrong that you see in the station buildings. Either way, we're on our way and we're not going to stop. So I'm going to take this time quickly to just verify our route is set up correctly. So we're going through the canyon, that's expected, and then we're going to make a left, and that will be that left right there. Then we're going to make another left and a right, and then a left and then a right, and then we should be all set. So once we get to City West, let's set these up now for our unload pages. So City West will be our first stop. And here we're going to A3S. Let's take a look at what that looks like. I'm very unfamiliar with City West. This will be our first time going there, along with our first time to coal power plant. So we're going to be hitting lots of firsts this time around. And it looks like our plan here is just going to be to pass City West and then back in with the empty cars on the back. Now, I know this is an uphill bit where my mouse is, so I think that's actually pretty good. You should be able to just easily coast down. And there's a locomotive here as well that we'll take a look at. There's two main things I want to push hard for in beginning now in the playthrough. The first is getting our DE6 license. That's going to run us about $20,000. We have, 20, I forgot a zero. It's going to run us about $200,000. We have $144,000 now. And then we also want to get the DE2 demonstrator vehicle. I haven't been able to find that yet. I might take some time between episodes and just hunt around for it and charge myself whatever the fast travel fees are. But we'll see. Maybe we'll come across it today. We're going to 2 new locations after all. Picking up some speed now. That's all good as our speed limits are pretty high over here. Fuel's looking decent. I did refuel at the harbor, but we have been going full tilt since we left. One thing I forgot to mention, I bought the concurrent orders 2 license. So we did not have this when I started the episode, when I finished the previous episode, we did not have concurrent orders 2. Obviously, we're carrying 3 orders with us now, so it was a requirement that I pick this up. It costs only $20,000, as you can see there. The insurance copay is basically a joke now anyway, so I'm not worried about that. Decreasing our time bonus is kind of annoying. In the previous episode, we actually failed to meet our time bonus deadline, which was slightly aggravating, especially because that was mostly my own fault, having gone the wrong way when we arrived at the harbor. Misplanning that whole interaction, really, with the harbor. But, assuming I can pull this off quick enough, that's going to be the other challenge with these orders, is that we have to operate pretty quick here. So the drop off at City West has to be pretty fast. I'm sure we'll make it to City West on time, but It's another story if we're going to be able to get past City West, back everything in, get back up to speed, climb the hill, navigate the very complicated coal power plant track layout, and then ultimately make it to Machine Factory on time. That might be a bit of a stretch. I hope it works out though, because we'll be making, I believe, $82,000, not including the time bonus, with all three of these jobs combined. And with the time bonuses, that should be well over 100K. Now, one other thing we can do is when we're at City West, we can look at if there's any jobs there that will be going to either the coal power plant or the Machine Factory. There shouldn't be anything going to coal power plant because I don't think the cities produce any goods or productions for the coal power plant. But I'm going to kill the throttle here. We're going a little bit fast with the junction coming up. But the coal power plant very well may have scrap materials or things of that sort going to the Machine Factory. And the City West will almost definitely it almost definitely produces scrap. No guarantees if it will have scrap that wants to go to Machine Factory, but we'll be able to take a look for that. But that's the sort of thing that can really add delays. We'll have to make a judgment call there if we'd rather push for the time bonus or if we'd rather pick up extra jobs. So we're turning left here where there's a 70 and an uphill, so I'm going to give it a bunch more power. Cut it maybe a little bit prematurely there. We are going pretty steep uphill now, and we're going to continue to do that. If we take a look at the world map, we are over here now, going across some bendy bits. Now this is the same route we took from the steel mill, if you recall. So I know that the speed limit doesn't get below 40 over here, I don't believe. So I'll be pretty comfortable keeping us going at about 50. And it's really not that heavy, this train. It's very long, but it's not very heavy. The courtesy of all those empty cars on the back. And I think that's everything to catch us up. That's the goals also, as mentioned, for the playthrough moving forward. We're going to really try to find that DE2. I don't want to keep renting vehicles. And then DE6 is the next big step up, and we'll be just collecting licenses as needed as we go. But the money should really start flowing in now, I think. Well, now that we got like really the bulk of this locomotive all tricked out, we're comfortable with the paint that we have in here, which is none. I really like the demonstrator paint on the outside, and we have all the gadgets. So just missing the one, and then we gotta get that DE2 set up. But until then, I'll catch you guys when we're a little bit closer to City West. Okay, taking this one a bit fast. Let's see if we can get the speed down. All right. Yeah, nothing to worry about there. Perfectly as intended. We're overheating pretty aggressively there, and we are entering a 40. So this might be bad. I'm really pushing the brakes as hard as I can right now. Length of the train, there we go, we're good. Length of the train makes it hard to fully pressurize the brakes down the length of the train. It takes quite a while. This is still a 40, so I can't accelerate too much faster here now. All right. The overheating you saw was due to the dynamic brake being applied so aggressively. I just took it all the way off now as well. So I think we're good. We have to keep in mind that the back of the train is going to be on that 40 curve for a while. So we don't want to exceed 50. I'm also going to turn the high beams off. That looks a bit strange in the daylight. But yeah, another little, a little potential crisis averted. Not a real crisis, a potential crisis has been averted. I must say, well, let's give it a bit more break here, actually. I must say, I think we've done a pretty good job of not derailing here in Derail Alley. Given the 10 or so hours we're in so far in this playthrough, we've kept it on the rails, kept it on the tracks, we've stayed on track. All right, I recognize where we are. We're at the signal just before switch. Excuse me, not a signal. We're at the switch just before the City West entrance. Let me just double check here that we are configured to just burn through it. There's the switch. I know that's a 30, but we've been going within 40 kmh for a little while now due to some slow switches prior to this one. The big crossover occurs just before the entrance here to City West. And so we just navigated through that, which killed off a lot of our speed for us. Now, the plan here, as mentioned before, is going to be to go through, like fully past City West and then back in to A3, which is, A3S is the track that we're going to be going to. Now, let me make sure that we're configured to go to A3S once we pass. So we're going to want to stay right on this guy, and then left, and then right. And that should take us into A3S. We'll also take a look at what that locomotive is over there, and we'll keep our eyes peeled for any demonstrators as well. Now, I know one sometimes spawns in the lake over here in this river. Unfortunately, I don't see any there. Here we are at the city. We're going 36, that should be fine, although I will put on some dynamic brake. I know there's a hill after this turn, so that should slow us down. In fact, because of that, I'm going to take off all the dynamic brake and all the throttle. I don't even turn it on there. We're going to let the train just roll up the hill. That should, hopefully we have enough speed to get far enough down this track that the rear of the train clears. Oh, that's nice. Look at that. So we want the rear of the train to clear that switch we just went past, obviously. Let's jump out over here. Let's get onto the other side. I don't recommend trying this at home. Whoa. There we go. All right, and we might lose connection to our locomotive, actually, because it is, I think the range of this thing's only 0.5 kilometer, and obviously the train is 700 kilometers, so we're probably going to lose connection. But before that happens, we should be able to get the train on the right deceleration in order to stop just past the signal. That's the plan, at least. We'll see how well it works out in practice. We are now on the last cars that are a part of this big order. I'm going to now apply some train brake as our remote starts to fade in and out. I'm going to apply a lot more train brake. And that looks like it's probably decelerating fast enough to do what we want here, which is as soon as the rear clears this, we stop. In fact, it might be going a little bit too fast. It might be decelerating too fast is what I mean. And now we're about to lose all connection. Yep, we just lost it. So we're going to really hope this clears. Ooh, it's going to be close. It's not going to clear. All right, let's get back up here. Let's kill all the train brake. Now, we should naturally come to a stop because of the slope over there. And we are just inching forward here. Oh, please clear it. Please clear it. We just got to get the back wheels here past the switch. Oh, I think we'll make it. Yeah, we'll make it with no issue at all. Now, before that starts rolling the other way, let's go ahead and switch that. Alrighty. Now, just in case we aren't actually on a hill, and also because I don't want to grind the gearbox, let's get it into reverse now. And we'll give it one tick of throttle. We'll let that start rolling the other way as we verify our path to A3S. We just switched that one. This is keeping us on the right. And then over here, we're going to turn left. And then over here, we're going to turn right into A3S. And we have a DH4 over here. How lovely. Now, I want to run back. Well, while we wait, actually, for the locomotive to pull in, let's go ahead and visit our shop over here. It's over here, this blue building, I assume, at least. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And there's our flag. So thank you to the commenter who mentioned the flags are found here at City West. I'm going to go ahead and buy 2 yellow flags. And that's probably all I need. There is a lot of other stuff here, though. I might get 1 more sticky tape. Don't need any red lights, I don't think. Don't know what the registrator's for. Oh, it's just for paperwork. Okay, don't need that. Some blue lights. Don't need the blue lights. We have the Game Boy. That's pretty funny. Don't need that. Oh, red light bar. We do want that, actually. So we'll purchase that one. And if we have yes, we have a large mounting strip as well. So I think that's everything that we want here right now. I mean, the only other thing I can think of are brackets, but brackets are sold everywhere. So that was only $4,000. And in fact, I'm going to run back in here and grab that and our mounting. I'll just grab everything, whatever. And do they have the crimping tool or the wire cutters are not in here. So I think the wire cutters might be at the goods factory, which would be pretty inconvenient if that's the case. But the other possibility is that the wire cutters are at the machine factory, which would be super convenient if that's the case, since that's where we're on our way to. All right, let's kill the throttle now that we're pulling in here. I did check, I think, but let's just double check that there's not anything blocking us. There's not, and this should be a nice long input track. It is. So we're going to, I need to get up to the locomotive as well to grab the actual order. Let's go do that now. I'm not worried about hitting the back. It's a very long input track, and we have plenty of braking time, I would think. All right, we're going to pick that up. We're going to move that one over there. We're going to put that one up there. And then where's my sticky tape? We'll put our third piece of sticky tape up here as well. Maybe about there looks right. Oh, I could hang the map up there too. Oh no, don't. Okay. I think I changed this signal, not the one that may have derailed us. So let's just make sure we're going the right way still up here. Whew. That was close. I think when I tried to pick up the map, I think I flipped that signal or that switch. And if I had hit the other one, that could have been real bad. But it wasn't. We're fine. Everything's good. Everything's chill. Let's get up here. Let's do some inventory organizing as well. I like to keep my flags on me. We'll put those over there. Let's get the drill. Yeah, let's get the drill out, because we're going to mount this launch strip and the light once we get back into the locomotive. All right, let's get some brake on. Looks like we're about here. Yep, there's the sign. How's our rear clearance look? It's enough. It's not the best, but it's all right, though. And let's get our brakes on. Now, as a reminder, we have to be pretty speedy here. So as soon as this stuff's all disconnected, we're going to get the locomotive pulling out right away. Oh, and get that brake all the way off, please. All right, so that's going to be on its way. Let's hit up the station building and turn in our contract. Let's also take a look at how long that took. 32 minutes, and we have 90, I think, for the coal power plant and machine factory, so not bad. 25,000. That covered the cost of the look at this. That covered the cost of the license that we needed in order to do that job, so I'd say that was well worth it. Plus, we made 5,000 on top. That's maybe the cost of diesel for one of these. And what else? We got to buy these goodies too, which is pretty useful. So there was no job available. There's only a handful of jobs here. There were only 3, and all of them were going to whatchamacallit, the harbor. So unfortunately, I'm stuck in my locomotive. So unfortunately, we weren't able to pick up anything extra, but that's really okay because we do need to get going quick here. And let's now take a look at mounting our light bar. So I want to put this red light to replace the cabin light. The YouTuber Squirrel did the same thing, and it's a really nice idea. It just makes the nighttime driving a little bit easier. Speaking of, I think once we have this light in, we'll be way more open to actually doing some nighttime driving. And so I'm going to mount this red light just to provide some low light illumination in here. And I think I would like to put it, in my other playthrough, I put it up here against this back wall. I think I want to put it longitudinally this time along the ceiling like this. Now I do have to kind of eyeball the alignment, which I don't love. Maybe if I crouch, I can go a little bit slower with my tweakingness. I'm really trying hard here. That looks good to me. Now, is that enough space, particularly on the left? It is not. Okay, well, that's why we check before we drill. We might have to go on this one. Oh, and we can't. All right, so I probably can't actually mount it the way I want then. I guess we'll go with the back wall strategy instead. Is that true? Can I like maybe? No, it's just too big. That's unfortunate. We'll go with the back wall option. This would be good for illuminating our packets and everything too when it's against the back wall. All right, that will fit. So let's go ahead and drill in. We'll only be able to drill 2 of these holes. Obviously, we can't hit the ones on the edge there. Although it will let me. Maybe if it lets me, I might as well. I think it does take into account how many drill holes you have when you get into a collision, and it does some math to figure out if it wants to fling your brackets off or not. I think if we have more drills, it will be less likely to do the flinging. All right, so there's our light. Now, in order to do the light, we need the crimping tool that I mentioned. I think it's called the wire cutters, which is funny because it's used to actually wire things. It might be called the wiring tool in that case. But the model is a crimping tool. And we also need a switch that we can mount on our switchboard here somewhere. So the switches, I think, actually are in Machine Factory. The wire cutters might be in Goods Factory. So that could be a follow-up. Maybe the haul we do after this one could be over to the Goods Factory to really finish out this locomotive. Anyway, in the meantime, we're going to track A2I at the coal power plant. Let's take a look at the path to get there, shall we? Okay, so coal power plant. Now, let me make sure I can see in front of me. This is the complicated one. So A2I is this one. Thankfully, that's a really easy track to get to. But pulling out might be kind of complicated. So A2I, let's see. If we pull in, we're coming in this way. We're going to go all the way around. In fact, let's make sure that's switched to inbound. So we're going to go all the way around. And then we can keep right here and then go left there. That will take us onto the inner track where we'll keep right and then keep right again. That will take us onto A2. Now getting out of A2 and turning the train around. How are we going to do that? Well, we don't actually have to turn the train around. I think we can complete the circle. Can we? So we'll have cars on us. We have to keep that in mind. We could pull out of A2, go straight here. A6 will probably have cars on it, but the one above it won't. So what we can do is switch here and then keep to the left here. So we go left and then keep left. That will put us onto this top track. We'll pull all the way forward towards A4 and A5. We should clear this switch, at which point we'll be able to reverse onto this switch right here where we'll be keeping right as it indicates now. And then that will take us all the way back up here where we can pull forward again and out. Now, is there a more optimal way to do this? Potentially. One way might be if we back in, like if we back in to begin with, and then we just pull forward. Now, what we need to do is we need to be coming into A2I facing the opposite direction. And I can't see a clean way to do that. Let me make sure our throttle's up. Since we're losing a lot of speed here. Yep, it's at max, all right. So is there any way to back in? Yeah, no. No, there's not. Not without doing like a bunch of other stuff. Right. Well, we could bypass the whole coal power plant, but no, that would take too much time. All right, so I think we have the plan. We're following the mouse here, right? What we're going to do is keep left here. That will take us into the coal power plant. Once we get up here, we're going to keep... Ooh, what if we went down, actually? Because then the nose... That would turn us around, and then we can back in. Oh, okay, and then... Oh, don't overheat the engine. And let me take a look at the route map, because... Yes, coal power plant, oh, it will bypass machine factory, so we actually can't exit on that top route. This one right here, we need to exit on the bottom. So, okay, let's see. If we go down, and then we can... If we go down and then loop, and then back up, back up, back up... No, I don't like it. We're going to do the original plan. All right, so follow the mouse. We're going to keep left here. That will take us up and in. Over here at the first junction, we keep right, then we keep left. That takes us down. Then we keep right. Correct? Then we keep right. That takes us into A2I. Here is where we drop off our tooling, which is on the back of the train now. And then once the tooling's dropped off, we continue on straight. At this junction, we're going to turn left, or merge left. That puts us onto the service track. Once we're on the service track, we're going to hope that there's enough runway here for us to clear this switch at the back. There should be, for sure, because we're going to be dumping off our longest order when we're here. And then we back up and we pull straight out. All right, that sounds like a plan to me. Let's kill our speed because we don't need to be going this fast as we're about to pull into a yard. Here is the coal power plant. I neglected to mention that during that whole process, we're going to be keeping our eyes peeled for a demonstrator. There's one right there, actually. I think I've seen that one already. That's the steam train, which I have no interest in using, but maybe at some point we'll adopt. Into the fleet. All right, and that switch we just went over is the one we're going to be taking to pull out of here as well. Bit more gas here. Let's, no, I was going to do some honking, but we'll wait. We'll wait until we're in the yard proper, I think. This is exciting, though. I like the brain teaser of navigating this place. And I know I'm not the only one that enjoys the coal power plant. I had gotten a comment on one of the very early episodes, someone else that really enjoyed it. Wow, we are dragging our feet here a little bit. Come on. We'll hold on to this, since we're going to need to turn that in. Let's double check. So it took us about 32 minutes, I think, and this one has an 87-minute limit. All right, we should, I think, have no problem meeting our time bonus. Assuming I don't make any wrong turns. But I think everything's set up right, so that we don't suffer in that way. Though it wouldn't be the first time. All right, we're pulling into coal power plant here. I got the bell on for good measure, so that we don't startle anybody. Our free locomotive over there is a steam, the small steam engine, and that's the only one we get here at the coal power plant. I have not been looking around for any other demonstrators. I'd be surprised if there was more than one here, though. In fact, it may be a hard requirement of the game that there can only be one demonstrator per station location anyway. We do have one tick of dynamic brake on, so we are slowly decelerating here. I do have that on, right? Yeah. Let's turn off that bell because it's annoying as hell. It's not quite as pleasant to listen to as the DE6s. And here's track A2I, which we're on now. I'm going to make sure my remote's connected and then run up a little bit. I should keep this out so it charges as well. And let's see if we could find where A2I actually ends. It doesn't say. All right, so as soon as the rear of the train clears the A2 sign, I think we're going to call it. And we'll drop off this cargo. And here's that sign. Speak of the devil. It's almost like I intentionally came over here to see it. Now, the front of the train should already be all configured to pull out of here when the need arises. I kind of remember where the station building is. I think it's over there. Over there somewhere. All right, let's get some brake going. What's nice about this twisty, turny, loopy station is that even though the train's so long, the locomotive's like over there somewhere, not all the way down there. So it's actually not that far as the crow flies from the the remote I have in my hand. And the train is a lot shorter than we had like 250 something meters of empty cars on the back here. Can we see the front actually? Should be just behind that building, I would think. Do want to go check out the demonstrator piece over there. And it looks like we're going to come to a stop now. So let's go run up here and detach. Whoa, what's happening? What's happening? Get me out of there. Okay, that was kind of unpleasant. Let's get the brake on here. And then let's do some detaching here. Again, the whole goal here is that the train keeps moving. And we got that detached just in time. All right. That guy's going to just stay there. We're going to keep the locomotive moving. It's not responding, though, which is weird. Let me get back in here. Oh, because the dynamic brake is on, of course. Just like what that person on YouTube said. Hey, sometimes you forget the dynamic brake is on, and then it confuses you when you try to get your throttle up. All right, let's run over to the station so that we don't forget to turn in that job. Everything should be set up correctly there for it to pay us. And it did. 60K, not bad. So that's 85,000 we've made on this haul so far. That brings our total up to 222. Now, as our train accelerates at 16 kilometers per hour, we are going to take a look at this demonstrator. The S282. Pretty cool. Can hop up. Oh, won't let us in there because we don't own the license for it. But yeah, Steam. Eventually, we'll get into that. Let's take a quick run around here and see if we could find... Well, let's make sure our path is clear and also see if we could find any other demonstrators. I know that one other spawn point is by the sheds over here. I think in that shed, in fact, or next to it, but it doesn't look like there's anything. In my personal playthrough, there was a DE6 right here, or maybe on the other side. But alas, not today. Whoa. Anything in there? Nope. Take a look at our cooling tower. Oh, it has the condensation too. That's a nice little touch of detail. All right, let's get back to the train that's actually moving. Here it is. Sorry for all the teleporting. There it is. Okay. We have definitely cleared that switch, so let's come to a stop. Now, we do have to be a little bit speedy here. I neglected to check how long, what our timer was at since we activated all those orders, but I assume it's like around 40 minutes, maybe 45 minutes it said. And I think we have 90 to get to the other place, so we should be really okay, I think. Let's check our path now. We're on this northern track here. We're going to keep right there this time. Is that correct? Yes, I could see it in the distance there. We're going to keep right, go all the way back up here, and then pull forward and out of here. So we could preemptively set that to be a right turn. And that will take us to the machine factory. Bonk my head against the water tower there. And yeah, since this is basically just shunting now, I'll probably cut forward a little bit until we're on our way over to the machine factory. All right, so I got the leased locomotive in the back powered down now as well. Let's go ahead and set that switch. And we're pulling out now. Giggity, on our way to the machine factory. Whoa, got all turned around there. I'm like not handling space control very well now. Let's take this opportunity to space out our sticky notes as well. That looks better. Love these sticky notes. Such a really great idea by the game developers. Give them some kudos for this. It's like, it seems so obvious. Like, oh yeah, you know, the whole game revolves around holding papers in your hand. But yeah, why not make them work like in physical game space as well? It's so smart. It's so subtle, but it's so smart, and it really gives the game like that a really charming feeling because everything in the world works that way. It's all like physically world-based. There's no like UI If I guess there is no UI, right? Other than this, other than bare necessities. But in terms of like actual functionality, you're not clicking buttons in a window. You're using papers, and it feels all very material and tactile, which I suppose is what they're going for, and they did a damn good job of it. So C3I is the target. Once we get into the machine factory, it's straight shot, as we knew. Coming up here, we're looking at... let's see. Let's not go so fast. Definitely feeling the weight being lost. All right, we'll turn right here. We'll turn left into C, and then we're going into C3. Right, and left. Already set up for that nicely. Machine Factory has lots of trains. And by lots, I mean 2 trains. So we might be able to pick up the DE6 as well. How much money are we looking at? 225. We have enough for the DE6. The question is only, will we have an order that justifies picking it up or not? And I know some people may... Let's just put that on the wall. I know some people may prefer we save our DE6 license until we find the museum piece for it. But seeing as I'm not finding any museum pieces, I'm probably going to have to just start fast traveling around the map and looking for them. That's a bridge that we'll cross. Get it? Because we're on a bridge. It's a bridge that we'll cross when we need to, though. For now, let's see if there's anything at the machine factory that even warrants a DE6. As a reminder, we want to get to the goods factory ultimately so that we can get the crimper for this light here and some switches, some buttony flippy switchies. We'll see. We'll see how it all pans out. All right, pulling into C3I now. Just in time, I dare say. Nah, probably have plenty of time, actually. You know, just adding a little artificial tension to the game. No, we have plenty of time, though. For real. Let's not go too fast now. I don't want to go crazy here. Get the brake on. I'm feeling good. I'm liking this. I feel like we made a lot of really good, efficient progress today. It's got me all hyped up. I'm looking at my other monitor. It says OpenTDD 15 just released. Here's what's new. Interesting. I didn't know they were still developing that like 30-year-old game. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy 2026. We're still working on OpenTDD. I guess that's what makes it open, huh? Let's power this bad boy down. I think we're going to be chilling out here for a wee little bit. Do some disconnecting over here. Probably do some servicing when we're here as well. We got to go take a look at what locomotives are available to us. What jobs as well. And we have our job on us. Let's go find the station buildings over here. And we'll turn this one in. Not a lot of jobs on that table. Did that in 56 minutes. So I was, I think, way off when I said 45. And how much did we make? 42. All right, so that's 60 plus 25. That was 85 plus 42 is it's $122,000 approximately. I'd say that was well worth it. Covers the cost of admission at least. Wow. These jobs all suck. Well, maybe we do the trams. Maybe we do the logistics for the trams, because that should pay pretty well once it's an actual freight haul over to the harbor. And trams are fragile, so it's good to get those underway. Let's take a look at the shop before we close out this episode. And we have lots and lots of things in here that I want. It's a good thing I got all that money. 268 is our total. Ooh, okay. So many options here. So toolbox, yes. Thank you. Been meaning to get that one for a while now. Distance tracker, yes. I think I will take that. Alternating controller, Potentially. We'll keep looking for now. Here's our amp limiter. That is dumb expensive, so I don't think I'm going to get it yet. Headlights, yes, we'll take 4 of those. Before I move on, remote signal boosters, way too much money. Did I get the tail lights? I forget. I think I didn't, but we'll wait. High-tech headlight lamp. No, we're not going to go high-tech yet. Don't want the dead man switch. Proximity sensor. I've never used this, but I feel like I do kind of want that. But maybe not yet. Maybe I'll play around with it in my own time first. What else do we have? Is the crimper over here? No, I think that's going to be at the goods factory. But let's take a look. We have the analog controller that sets intensity of gadgets, so that might be useful. We might want to pick that one up. And then over here we have amber beacons. I do want 3 of those. Proximity readers, I think you need that in order to work with the proximity sensor. I think that's what that tooltip just said as well. I feel like we have spent a considerable amount of cash. Let's get the rotary controller. Or the button. Do we want the button instead? I like the rotary controller because I think it feels nicer. So we're going to get this for headlights. We want 1 of those. What else do we have in here? We have demonstrator paint, which we don't need. Okay. And there's the orange light bar. So we got 1 of these for the headlights I just bought, or that I'm about to buy. We need 1 for the warning beacons. I think I want the alternating controller for that one. And then I think that's it, right? Because I didn't get the taillights. Let's see, what's our total at? 38,000? Spend that. Look at everything fly in here. All of our beacon lights. And nice, we got our toolbox, which I'll immediately throw all of my tools into. Wise. Let's see, how much space do we have in here? Plenty left. That's good. I'm going to move all that stuff to the shed. Where's the shed? Oh, the shed is by the station building. Of course it is. Yes, okay. We're going to get our headlights on us. We're going to get this thingamajig, whatever that's called. We're going to need a whole bunch more mounts. Let's get our amber lights on our inventory as well. And let's take our thingamajigs, our switches. Now, for the lights, we want... Actually, can I test it right here? Can I use this? Yes, it will go upright with those. Although maybe I want these. Does it also... Oh, no, I don't want those. Yes, okay. So I want a bunch more of these little ones, or those medium brackets, right? Medium mount plate. As for this thingy, let's see if I... Oh gosh, my inventory is so hard to manage right now. If I mount one of these things like on the wall, can I? Yes, I can mount that the way I want. So we're going to take that with us. We're going to want 2 of those. Let's put it back over here. Get this back over here. We're going to want to take a look at this. So medium. That's 4. That's 5 medium mounting brackets. These switches can use the small ones, I think, but we might want medium anyway. So let's say 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 medium mounting brackets. And we have 1. So we need to buy 8 medium mounting brackets. That's easy enough. Put the toolbox back. Okay, 8 medium mounting brackets. And I think that's enough. Let's get all of this into our inventory as well. In fact, we'll throw these into the toolbox for the time being. All right, we're going to run back to the store one more time. Another quick trip. We're going to get those medium mounting brackets. Where might I find these? Surely they're in here. Surely. There's large. Oh, no. Okay. Medium mounting. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of those. I think that's it. I think that's everything we need right now. We will come back if the need arises for more items. And we got to get to the goods factory next. I did forget to check. I don't think there were any jobs here that went to goods factory, which is kind of lame. We might just teleport there with the locomotive. Just double check that. Yeah, nothing here. Nothing here is going to go to goods factory. Let me run over to our loco and let's start mounting some things. So, turn off the flashlight. Let's get our toolbox out first and foremost. Oh, no, I didn't mean to put that into the toolbox. We're going to just put the toolbox on the roof and hopefully not forget that it's there. Can I access the inside? Thank you. Okay, we want our brackets. We want 4 brackets. We're going to put down the light brackets first for the headlights. And I'm going to copy Squirrel again here, the YouTuber, with his strategy where he... Oh, no, wait a minute. Do these... Okay, yeah, they can go on the small ones. Now, this is really finicky. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to stand right in the middle there. That looks about centered. And I'm going to just use my eyesight, my terrible, terrible eyesight to mount these things. And I'm going to hope that I get them. Oh, gosh, I feel like they're already so wrong. All right, does that look right? Oh, the glare is killing me also. This one needs to go up a little bit further, I think. Like so. Wow, that glare is really ruining my day. I think that's close enough. Yeah, that's probably close enough, right? All right, let's get a couple more in here now then. And we're going to turn this a bit more for this one. We'll go like that, and we'll get one more on this side as well. Like that, maybe? I don't know. Oh gosh, it's tough to tell. You know what? I think that's pretty good. I think that's pretty good. And you know what? I think we're going to drill them. I think we're going to drill them. Just make sure they all are compatible. Let's see. That's pretty close. Looks like it's like maybe 4 centimeters from the edge, and that's also it's a little bit further back maybe, but I'm happy with it. Let's get the drill out of our toolbox. I'll drill all these in. All right, lights are going in now. Make sure they're facing the correct way, please, and rotated the correct way. I want some consistency here. That looks pretty good, I think. I hope. Now I'm relying on the... Sorry, I'm thinking. I'm relying on the main vehicle headlights to provide most of the forward-pointing directional light. And then we're using these for the side lighting. That looks pretty nice, I think. Let's, now, do these need to be soldered? I think they might need to be soldered. Oh, and that already has some solder in it, I think. They do. Okay, so we're going to solder these guys up. Oh, and they're on by default. They're so adorable. Look at that. Okay. Now, unfortunately, I don't have the wire cutter or crimper or connector, whatever it's called in the game, so I can't wire up my switch for these, but what I can do is install all the switches and also get my beacons up in here. Up in here. All right, there's our headlights installed. I think that looks pretty centered to me. Let's take a look at the top. Yeah, I mean, the one on the right is a little bit closer to the edge, I think, but whatever. We're going to survive. As long as the lights point in the correct direction, I'm not that upset about it. Now, I wonder if it actually uses the headlight controls. It does not. Okay, yeah, so we do need to install the switch for it. Let's turn all our lights off for the time being, except the cab light. Let's get the... what do you call these? The beacons wired up now next. Now, if I remember correctly, the beacons might actually need large plates. Nope. Okay, beacons will take small plates. Now, I like to see my beacons. So I think I'm going to put one right in the middle up front. as I wrestle with centering this. That looks good. Will I be able to see that beacon? I wonder. I hope. Let me get back in here. Yeah, I think I'll be able to see it. Where's my drill? Get this in here. Now, there is an argument to be made that maybe I should be using large brackets, even though it accepts the small brackets, because the large ones might be less likely to fling off. And being external pieces, maybe we care about that. Oh, nice. I can see my front beacon. That's good. Where the other place I like to put one, and where I'm going to, is up here. On the highest point of the vehicle. Hopefully that's not too close to the edge, because I'm drilling. We'll be okay. Beacon placed perfect, dare I say. And I like to get one on the rear of the vehicle as well. And I like to be able to see that one too. But I think the middle will be a good spot for it. And I do have 2 more of these, which... Oh, I have 3 more. Okay, perfect. I was about to say, how did I mess up my my bracket count? But it looks like I got it right. Drill this in. Beacon mounted. All right, so there's our 3 beacons all mounted up nicely. We're going to put the alternating controller on those. I think I'm going to hold off on wiring them for now, just because I'm a little bit low on the solder. I only have 2 of these left, which I'll actually pull into my inventory. Take that with me. Let's leave the toolbox up here, or on the ground is fine. I want to put the distance tracker in next so that I don't forget to wire that thing up. And now the distance tracker is pretty finicky to get into the right spot. If I put that there, yeah, no, it won't like it. I wonder if I could put it there and then just rotate the thing. No, it doesn't like to be rotated. So I'm going to go back to the shed. I'll cut this part out, but I got to find the right type of bracket that will mount that the way I want it. Whew. Okay, so after an unholy amount of finessing, I got that thing right where I want it to be. That's centered enough for me. I'm not gonna mess with it anymore. I need the drill. I have the drill. We're gonna drill this thing in and never touch it again. Am I leaving marks? No, okay, we're not drilling through somehow. Let's get our distance tracker in there. Yes, look at that thing. Yeah, that thing's sick. It's a good looking instrument to have in the cabin. Let's get it wired in now as well. And this cabin's done. We need to add the buttons still. But the buttons will be the easy part. I also want to get the labeler. And I think the labeler is in the goods factory. So we'll be able to pick that up in no time. Hammer can go up there. We need our 2 mounting brackets. So now we need high beams and beacon switches, which I usually put over here. This is another one that's really hard to line up correctly. And then if you do it wrong, oh, it will show. Oh, that's not bad. All right, we'll keep that one there. We'll drill that in. Once again, just drilling into an electrical box with blatant disregard. So I want this switch to be my beacons, I think. So we'll probably put that there. And then do I want high beams here or over here? I think I want high beams over there. So we'll do beacons here. And then we need another switch next to it. And I think I gotta space this out the right. Ooh, that looks good. Which one is this? This is gonna be for high beams actually. So I gotta run back to the store, BRB. All right, ran back here to get the analog controller. This is the one that controls intensity. This is gonna be for our red cabin light. Pop back in here. Let's see how our mounting looks, it's a little bit far away, so I'm going to move it a little bit closer. All right, that's just going to have to do. I can't finesse with these anymore. I mean, we're not going to really notice those gaps, are we? It will be okay. I really want to get my labeler. Yeah, there we go. That looks fine, I guess. All right, so this will be our alternating controller. This will be our analog controller. This will be for beacons, and this will be for the overhead light. And I think we're out of brackets. Yeah, so I think what I'm going to do actually is call this episode here. I might do a little bit more installing of the buttons in between episodes. And then I got to solder a bunch of stuff up too, so I'll work on doing that. And when I see you guys next time, we'll have a locomotive that's much closer to being tricked out and filled with all the bells and whistles we could ever need. But until that time, you have a lovely day, and I'll see you then.